fishing Sunday?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
I am.
I'm in.
What? Wait.
Can you put that cat down?
Yeah.
The cat's in. I was trying to be a Bond villain. I apologize.
Yeah.
It's warm by this fire, Buck.
We're not even in the fire. We need to jump in the current.
We got to cool off in the current.
I just want everyone to know, I mean, we say it all the time. You have 7 best friends when you tune into us every week. And it's wild because we used to say that, but now it's so real.
And it was just a real existential morning, guys.
Got existential.
Did you short drift them?
Well,
That's a yes.
That's what the Canadians say.
no bueno.
No bueno. If there is a traditional Canadian saying, no bueno.
Oh, you are in the current.
There it is.
You're here, guys. A whole new year.
Season 3,
Season 3.
Already.
episode 2.
It's Uncle Buck, and who do I have with me tonight?
Hey, it's Ryan.
I'm Catfish.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Will.
Season 3.
Yeah, dude.
How about it?
I'm pinching myself.
Oh, I thought that was Bucky pinching you.
That was Bucky pinching me, actually. Sorry, you're right. But, man, I'm shocked. I don't know what to say.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everybody.
That's a good start.
It's been a fun journey. The brotherhood has grown tremendously.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
There's no end in sight. That's the other thing.
We started with a handful, and now we have close. Like, I get text messages all the time from people that I probably would have never spoken to
Right.
without this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I loved to message back and forth with like Greg Krebs and see what he's up to, and like he just had a birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Greg Krebs.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean about the brotherhood. I'm telling happy birthday to people I didn't even know a couple years ago. So It's very cool.
It's too cool. Like I said, guys, I pinch myself every day. We continue to grow, and good things are coming this year too. I can't wait.
And with a new season comes hand in hand with
A new season.
a new season.
Yeah.
And new brothers. I
Yep.
can't wait.
Deer season, Catfish.
It's
It is
amongst
deer
us.
season. It is deer. Would you like to hear about my first night of archery hunting?
Please do.
Ooh.
Snuck
love
out
to.
on us. We didn't.
Yeah.
You told everybody you weren't fit. You weren't hunting.
I did go fishing. I caught a little 6-inch bass on topwater
Yeah?
with
Nice.
6,000 casts. And it meant the world to me to catch that little. He was almost as
Fish of
big as the
6,000
popper.
casts.
Fish of
itself.
6,000 casts. That's the one.
I was with you there, right?
The popper was all but an inch shorter than he was. Like he tried to eat something that he would never been able to eat. Bass are amazing like that.
What happened to
An
our fall
inch every
topwater
1,000
season?
casts?
This time of year, I don't typically archery hunt the first week or two. We've been through this because topwater's so hot. Topwater is not hot at all. Like I've been out.
Not even close.
I've thrown every topwater thing I have, and I've gotten 5 strikes in the last 5 times, 10 times out. I don't know. Excuse me. So yeah, I don't know. Like we said with the archery hunting this year with the weather. I don't know if this all this rain has made fishing different.
If only we had a good journal that we could go back on.
Yeah,
this is true.
that's for
You
sure.
could probably phone a friend.
It cooled.
I know a
think
guy.
It cooled the water down much faster than it typically.
The water
does.
The water in the lake on Saturday. Well, the water in the lake on Saturday was still right around 70, which is cooler for this time of year. And just by Sunday morning, that cool night, it went down to 68.
Wow.
That's a big body of water to drop almost 2 degrees to surface temperature. So I don't know. Maybe they're being shocked. They're in there. The water temperature's dropping too quick, maybe. But I snuck out. I turned fishing off and went hunting. And
How'd that go?
well, I didn't have high hopes for the tree stand. We talked about it being wet, the grass being high. I don't know why they would get up out of one cornfield to walk through an opening to another cornfield, but I had high hopes. You know.
There's always a chance.
Yeah. So I used it as a time to brainstorm for some ideas for the Great American Outdoor Show and just enjoy being out. I didn't sit super still. You know, I didn't go 100% just because I just wanted to be out.
Sure.
Like
Right.
I did everything I normally do, was scent control, and got in quietly, got in early. I had one particular squirrel that I wanted to wring his neck.
Did it drive you nuts?
He was dropping black walnuts on
he
my
did.
head. He come up the tree stand behind me, which I took a selfie
Right.
video of him running up and down behind me on my tree and dropping walnuts on my head. Like
He wants to
did
be
it on-
famous too. He wants to be on Uncle Catfish video.
He did it on purpose. I swear it. He's like a mastermind squirrel.
Between you and Kyle, and your squirrel,
But
whatever, invaders.
I saw nothing all night, but a gorgeous weather night.
It was
I
gorgeous.
forgot one thing. Some kind of bug deterrent, because the back of my neck looks like I have chicken pox. They were eating the back of my
Get you.
neck. Oh, the mosquitoes were rotten, so wet in there. So I'm getting down out of the stand. I get up quiet. I get down quiet. I go through all the. Just because I'm not taking it super serious, don't mean it's not good practice.
Sure.
I get down. I turn around, and from ground level, I look out in the field about 60 yards. I see this big brown tree that wasn't there before, and I went, that's a doe. I'm getting busted getting out of my tree stand on the first night. And then, I'm getting my backpack. I'm putting, she's not moving. I'm moving around way too much. It's nothing. I just didn't see it from the other angle.
Yeah.
Nope. Giant, huge doe staring at me getting out of the tree stand.
Never at you.
Nope, never snorted, but I wasn't 5 steps from the tree stand. I stood there and took 1 step. She was gone. But I took 2 more steps. And the only real blind spot to my stand is off to the right, where the hedgerow has a gap between that and the corn. There's like a 5-foot, 8-foot opening.
Big buck.
I took a couple of steps and looked to my right, and 20 yards from my tree stand, 15 yards from me, were 2 big does standing there looking at me like, what are you?
Hey.
What are you doing here?
It was ladies' night.
It's been quiet all
It
year.
was ladies'
It's
night.
that time already. I know what they were thinking. I went, do I just stand here and wait to hopefully to think that I'm that tree that was growing like I just thought she was a minute ago?
Yeah.
It didn't take but a couple of steps and the tails went flying. But I just went, like it was dark enough that I couldn't see the pins, but it was still light enough that I could have waited another 10 minutes. But I don't think it'd come out in the opening. But it was still nice to get busted on the first
Yeah,
night. That's
yeah.
always good.
Oh, yeah.
Get
Got
that,
that
out
out.
of the way.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just going to
got
say,
that
yeah.
There's a lot of deer moving late.
Yeah.
I had a slightly different experience actually the first afternoon, the first day. I got to go out in the afternoon.
Well, what happened to you, Ryan?
Luckily, kids' soccer games were canceled, so I was able to go out.
Yahtzee.
So that was
jammies.
definitely a good thing. But I had 2 doe on their feet. I'd say, they weren't this year's fawns, but maybe last year's. They weren't big,
Sure.
giant, mature ones, but they weren't little babies.
Not at all.
They came in
Breeders.
4:30. It was early.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to see a deer that early. And they came in about 30 or so yards, and I first night, I'm not ready to take a shot.
What?
Yeah, I got my doe
your-
tag for where I'm at down here. I'm hoping to use my flintlock.
Is your freezer full?
No.
What? Oh, you just
I'm
pass up.
hoping to use
I got
my
all
flintlock.
kinds of opportunities.
I need the smoke pole
I'm Ryan.
on a doe. That's my plan for this year, so I'm saving that doe tag. But
All
they
right.
came in and, fed on through, weren't bothered by nothing, and then about
Bucky,
an hour
close
or so
your
later,
ears. Do not listen to what he says, bud. You need to be shooting.
Yeah, it's. I can't even.
about an hour or so later,
I shot 3 arrows already during this story.
I actually had a buck first night in the
Really?
stand. I had a buck come in. He followed the script.
Oh,
I mean, he came in on a line directly underneath me, 13
4
yards.
or 5
What? 4 or 5
arrows.
Oh, those were your arrows.
Those my 2 more arrows just went going.
Hopefully you weren't shooting because, like I said,
He's not even to the tree
he
stand yet.
followed the script and
Doesn't matter.
13 yards broadside, and I could count all 3 of the points on him. So he was not a legal buck.
Oops.
I bucked that one up.
But the best part
Classic.
about it, and like this is, I get, getting busted and blown out the first night, get that out of the way type scenario, but I actually had like a confidence boost the first night because this buck came in 13 yards, circled around. The timber was basically flooded where I was at too, and he milled around for a little while, went out to about 23 yards, straight downwind from me, and bedded down.
Nice.
No way.
And he laid there for 45 minutes.
Straight
Just-
downwind from you.
Completely downwind. I mean, the wind in the entire time he's laying there is blowing directly
Just
from my back
whacking him.
right at him.
So that's a
And every
testament
once in a
to
while,
your-
he's
Punching him in the old
he's throwing
nares.
he's throwing his nose up in the air, but then he's just
Like he
chewing
don't
his
care.
cud and pulling the leaves off the nearby tree and
Yeah.
just looking around.
So do you think he just didn't care that he smelled you, or that your that your scent control is so good that
I'm hoping it's the second part.
It's not that.
I don't know? Didn't you listen to Ryan's system the other
I have a system.
couple episodes ago?
I guess.
Do have a system,
It's pretty impressive.
but it was just a confidence boost. Really, is what it
Yeah.
was.
Right.
Wouldn't
And
happen-
those are the only 3 deer that I saw.
It wouldn't happen to be anything from the box you got from ATA that magically disappeared, was it?
What box?
Yeah,
What are you talking?
exactly. That's
Huh?
what I thought. That's why I didn't say it.
That buck was on lockdown.
Lockdown sense.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it sometime.
Really?
Nice.
But yeah, it was a nice confidence boost. Those are the only 3 deer I saw, but the weather was fantastic. Everything was great. And then what I'm hoping is just a good sign of many things to come for this season. Right at dark, I'm starting to pack my stuff up and I just hear a little crunching. And I look down and there's a trash panda at the base of my tree. As if to say,
Hey, bud.
I saw
I'm bringing the big ones coming.
It's gonna be.
I
a
saw
good
you
year,
rocking
Ryan.
the trash panda eye makeup.
I did. It didn't come out as good as I wanted, so I haven't really put it out there yet. But
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
looking to start a thing with the trash panda face paint.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah, it's going to be a thing.
I didn't get quite the confidence booster, but I did take something great from it. Was the fact that I haven't really hunted super early archery season in a few years.
Yeah.
And there were a few things that I had actually forgotten that came back very quick that I actually enjoyed. I enjoyed the bees flying around. Like I don't get them in super late, later season as much, and I enjoyed hunting in green. Lots of tree cover.
Yeah.
The canopy that was up.
I hate that.
I got to see and smell and do different things, like it was just different than, late season. And it's been a while. I really enjoyed it. I took that away from it, that it was just an epic night of, you know what honestly it was? I went up there just to chill. And I kind of needed it after
I'm
a
so
long
glad.
Therapy.
I'm so glad you did, man. I was.
even so much that I chose the shorter of the 2 stands just so it felt more comfortable to sit back and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just jacked up when you sent the picture out. I was like, I was really happy because
He's there.
I know that like this is a time where like catfish, like the habits of catfish. I mean, year to year you see it. Fishing dies hard for you, and then
When I turn it off, it's off.
and then transitioning into hunting, it's almost like it breaks his heart a little bit. He's got to process it. Am I wrong?
It's like
No,
he's
I-
saying
I-
goodbye to his lady for a
I don't
6-month tour.
I don't generally turn fishing off till late October. So, but it's just here in Pennsylvania, fishing's just not on.
Yeah.
It's weird because I do get lots of reports from friends that smallmouth fishing's on fire on the river in some of the smaller waterways feeding into the Susquehanna, because the Susquehanna's been up so high.
Sure.
A lot of the smallmouth are gathering like up in the first quarter mile of a lot of the small inlets, small waterways. So if you can target them right at those creek bottoms and, mouths of little tiny, I don't want to say rivers, but like even the Juniata,
Sure.
the guys who get on them, I mean, Logan and them guys, he went out with Kenny from Topwater Marine
Uh-huh.
the other night. They caught over 100 smallmouth in just a
No way.
very short time. It's wherever they are, they're all in big groups trying to stay out of that fast, swift, muddy water.
Where were you at on that one, Stevie?
I was there tonight.
What happened?
What's that? The mouth of a river, feeding into a river.
He won't tell you what happened. He's embarrassed on what happened.
I'm a little embarrassed.
300 you caught in an hour.
No. I was stuck throwing top water. They're not hitting top water, and somebody needs to take my box of top water.
Don't feel bad. I've done it every morning the last couple weeks.
I know a guy who'll do that.
Yeah, for the last week and a half.
Holding on to the hope that it's still there.
Something. But so I no top water and no Senko.
You're taking a big breath on this one?
It's hard for me to say.
Did you throw a Ned rig, bud? Did you throw a precious Ned rig?
I'm not saying whether I did or didn't throw a Ned rig. But
I lost 2.3 jig heads per.
But I did manage to catch a couple on a
blue bait.
Shaky.
On a blue bait, bottom bouncing jig head.
It's a stick bait.
On a stick bait. And it got hung up as expected.
No surprise.
No surprise. After I hooked 3 fish, 2 of them I couldn't. One of them was a tank. I mean, it was huge. I lost it right at the bank. But I tell you, the one that I did get in had some really weird
markings on it.
Red, like it looked like it was in the mouth of a muskie on one side of it, but I don't know how that would happen. But
like Jonah.
What's that?
Like Jonah.
Yeah.
In the mouth of a muskie.
Yeah, and he was 3 days in the mouth of a muskie. But no, so it was very color specific tonight because once I had one black and blue hula stick, and once that got snagged after about 8 seconds, they stopped. I had a couple others and got nothing.
All right,
but they were hammering that thing.
Can we get back to deer then?
Sorry.
Is that? I'm just kidding.
But no trophy this week.
Well, it was actually my first smallmouth, river smallmouth, Susquehanna River smallmouth. It wasn't even the Susquehanna, it was the Conneauguinett of the year. Anyways.
Nice.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thanks. It feels pretty good.
I'm not going to take your topwater lures from you. I'm going to come to your house like the Tooth Fairy, sneak in your bedroom window, and take all that light crap line off your rod and put some good heavy duty 8-pound, 10-pound.
No, there was no. I don't have like that crap line on my bass rod.
It always
breaks. You can't even
breaks.
say it without lying.
Well, sometimes I use that crap line on the bass stuff.
You know, one day when I'm old and I tell fishing stories in the old people's home, I'm going to tell epic stories of my brother Stevie that constantly had these monster fish right to the boat. I even saw them and then snap.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, the last topwater fish I caught.
Here we go.
I lost one right at the bank.
All you had to do is look at Will's line when he had the striper on and it snapped.
And then look at my face.
There's something fundamentally wrong.
He wouldn't look you in the eyes at that
lose
point.
as many fish as I lose. Like I'm doing something wrong. I got to go to school.
Other than
school.
bow fishing, we need to devise another sport that has fishing and hunting just combined it together. You know, like, I don't know. Like, I like to go catch bullfrogs with my fishing rod.
Sure.
That's fun, but there's just got to be something out there nobody's thought of. I mean, we could lure in, like, zebras with a fishing rod. I don't know. And throwing bales of hay.
Almost got it.
With a tuna rod.
You almost have it.
Throw a bale of hay.
I suggested topwater dove the other day.
You did.
We can't make that work, though.
I actually think I saw some doves the other night with some life jackets on out of my tree stand.
Backstroking.
Yeah.
So high.
Buck, you were jacked up last week about
over
the first day of archery.
And it was a great day.
Was it?
I had a great day. I mean, it's not as epic as other guys as far as deer seen or whatnot, but I was up.
That's what's going on.
prepared.
A lot of deer seeing.
But
Were you in the ground blind?
I was in a ground blind, and the theme tonight is I've been hearing, except for Stevie, is confidence.
Hey, I saw 2 deer this morning.
Except for Stevie.
I almost had him with the Toyota.
And
They were
With the Honda.
they were in the soybean field.
but I was sitting in the
Preferred browse.
sitting in the
It's funny. That was right next to a cornfield. There was anyways.
I wish you
corn
knew
or
it.
the soybeans. Were they?
They were
choosing?
in the soybean field.
Gotcha.
We talked about food plots. Anyway, sorry.
My confidence booster was sitting in a blind that I've hunted 2 years prior.
Yeah.
I was thinking about I could take that shot now out there. Ooh, that's doable this year.
Things you wouldn't have done last year.
Last year,
Okay.
I was already like, where's 30? Where's 40 yards? And I can reach out and get bucks that I wouldn't have shot, or a doe that I passed up last year.
Sure.
I would have taken the shot this year.
You know what would be a really good confidence booster for you is a drill that we used to do when I was younger and hunted archery. When I was young. But we would go out and I would go up in my tree stand. Back then we didn't have laser rangefinders. And Dad would step off 20 yards and he would put, like trees around me, he would put just the white thumbtacks in the trees. I knew it was 20 yards. Anything underneath that I could shoot. And then he would go out to 25 yards and put like 2 white thumbtacks in the trees and so on and so forth, just here and there. It gives you that mental circle around you.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And every time he would come down to me to pick me up from his tree stand to leave, he would take thumbtacks out of one of those trees. So you would you would see it all the time hunting, because I hunted the same tree year after year back then. That's just how we did it in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And before long, I didn't have any thumbtacks, but I saw that circle. And I can relate that circle to every tree I'm in now. So it's just, it takes a little bit of time,
Yeah.
but it trains your brain on where's 20, where's 30 very quickly.
It sure does.
And it don't take much time with a laser rangefinder now to go out and put a couple white thumbtacks up. That way you're not second guessing when that buck does come up and you're going, oh, is he 20, is he 30? I saw that tree earlier, but
It's such a big. It doesn't look that much. You know what I mean? Like when it's a bigger difference whenever you're practicing, but when that deer's walking in,
Yeah.
it's the
The
same
difference
size
between 20 and 30.
at 20 as it is at 30,
Yeah.
and it's so difficult. Like
The
I
size
think.
of the deer can throw your judgment off too. A big deer can look, a big deer can look fairly close. The same, smaller deer walking in the same footsteps, you can, shoot right under.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you see?
I saw one squirrel.
Did you?
Truth be told, one squirrel.
Squeeges.
Just
Do you see him again?
yeah, he's always popping up. He knows exactly where I'm.
You're
He's
feeding,
a
you're
jerk.
feeding them.
Yeah, well,
You see Bucky out there with a bag full of peanuts Come here, Squeegee. What do you call him?
squeeges.
That's, Squeeches. Come here, buddy. Here's your peanuts today.
Yeah, he just fed him, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day. I mean, it wasn't.
What's going on in the buck 40?
In the buck 40, I'm saving that up a little bit, I guess.
Have you had
I
any
mean,
more
maybe
trail cam
see
pics?
any encounters? You looking, checking cams?
Well, story be told, Saturday night, you don't go out and right at dusk.
Don't say. it,
But
bud.
standing in your front yard,
The front yard.
the front yard, they were.
They walked around.
Oh, they were like.
They were looking
might,
to see if you were home.
They might as well have been ringing a cowbell out there for me. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, we're out
I
here.
think they were just diverting around your blind.
but
They
more
never-
chicken.
He's probably out back. We'll go around the front.
But
This was Saturday morning.
Saturday evening
Saturday
is when I saw the two doe out in front of it. Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yes.
I like to use that time to brainstorm things when you're not seeing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to devise the R2 squirrel repellent in a can.
Walnut dropper.
Yeah. Yeah, like a hat with an umbrella on it would have been good. But no, it's... I love brainstorming things, and then I catch myself after like an hour or so stopping and going, oh, wait. I'm like looking around and, what was I thinking about? Oh, who cares? It's a gorgeous day. Like, I totally forget everything that I was just thinking about and realize that that's when you're calm.
Yeah.
And collected.
See, I could do that. I could get away with it later in the season. There's no way I could do or think about anything on Saturday, that first afternoon, because it's so green, everything's so thick. Now, I have it maybe a little more open than the Parkins boys do when they trim their shooting lanes, but it's still thick. And without focusing on an individual little leaf, I can only see about 20 yards.
Yeah.
So for me to try to watch trails, deer coming in this direction, things like that, I'm focused on a point and I'm squinting and I'm so I had no time to do anything but just look around.
Now, I get that. In years past, I did. I don't know what it is with me. This year, I never looked over my shoulder once all night. I didn't care if they were there or not. I figured if they come behind me, they'll walk out in front of me. I took it for what it was.
That's so hard. It's like the first day, first whatever. I'm still like, what? Twigs.
Trying to get acclimated to the outdoors.
I actually make that noise.
That calls in the squirrel's boss. Don't do that.
On the shooting lane subject, though, a question that I had from sitting there and having plenty of opportunity, and part of the thought process of realizing that I can shoot out further, I found that I need to trim some places up probably to help assist me to shoot better.
Cut some shooting lanes in.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's your question, Colin?
My question is it wise for me after my sit that day to walk out and take care of that?
Yes.
Or do I wait until next year and just...
Maybe.
No. Take one night.
All right. We covered that.
Take one night, leave a half an hour early, go cut them quickly with the clippers and leave.
Get in, get out.
Yep. Just pick out everything you want to cut, do it fast, don't touch nothing, and leave.
And just leave. Don't even sit that night and
no, don't
there.
Rake it all in a pile or anything. Just cut them and go.
Yep. Okay.
I would say it's one of two things. You're either going to go in a half hour early for an evening hunt or stay a half hour later in the morning hunt. Cut them after you leave in the morning or before you even get in the stand in the afternoon.
All right.
Just go in a little early.
So I won't muck up my set.
No, you'll be all right.
All right.
I mean...
What about at lunchtime?
Unless that buck's walking up while you're cutting something.
Or at lunchtime.
Right, but I'm not going to send it up or,
Don't touch nothing but the clippers.
Yeah.
That's don't pick the branches up and move them. Wherever they fall, let them fall.
Gotcha.
Or if you're really, 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 maybe if you can play the weather, if you know it's going to rain, do it in.
It shouldn't be too hard.
Rain will knock down your scent or whatever. But honestly, you shouldn't be even really worried about it. Just go in, get in, get out. Okay.
I'm happy you're shooting.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just happy I'm even thinking about it.
Lunchtime on a rainy Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Will,
what about you, Bubby?
I had a couple sits since we talked last, and the first day of archery was I sat in the new blind. Ryan and Hunter and I and Phil set up.
And did Hunter screw that up for you? I'll talk to him about it.
Yeah.
All four of you were in the blind. Ryan,
the new blind. There's an old one.
The four of you were in the new blind.
Yeah,
we set that.
It's like
up
clowns.
You set it up.
Yeah, that was over the summer.
We call that the clown blind.
I think Stevie
I'm
thought
sorry.
you were sitting.
Yeah.
You got to wake up when we talk about deer.
Hold on, I blacked out.
So I did get the first sit in the new set.
Nice.
And that's the one we have the picture of the greenage.
Yeah.
Yep. And I had 3 doe come through 10 o'clock-ish. And
can I ask a question, and not to make it too specific
ask away.
for anybody that hasn't been standing in that particular spot? Did they come off the top of the mountain or from the bottom up? Across. So towards you or from behind you away?
In front of me and across and worked behind me. Mm-hmm. And they were, I don't know, 35 yards out, 40 yards out. Not a shot opportunity. at that place, at that distance. Maybe if I had some better lanes or whatever, I don't know. But she just wasn't,
Wasn't the
there.
time.
Yeah.
You're saving it for your flintlock
season. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, a button buck came in and hit the spring, went right to the spring, jumped around in the spring, was just playing like a weirdo.
Again, following the script, because that's what we were banking on, right?
Oh, yeah. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. And then he came into the blind, and
Did you use the zipper?
I thought he was going to eat the leaves off the blind. He was so close, like he was just staring at me, and took a little half circle and went right back to the spring.
Button hook.
He
pulled the button hook.
He hit a button hook. The thing is, like, I cherish those moments. I know it's an immature deer, but being that close to an absolute wild animal,
Yeah.
it just blows me away. And then you gotta, all blinking stops, bow movements stop. You know what I mean? Everything. You don't even fart during that time.
Oh, no, not me. That's my favorite time to whisper to him and catch him off guard.
Oh.
That's where go on get came from.
Yeah.
Because he's messing my hunt up. I got to sit still for you. I can't even look around to see what else is coming.
Yeah.
So, hey. Their ears perk up and they look at me. And I stare them down for a minute and I go on get. Sometimes they'll run and sometimes I got to say it a second time. And on the second time they go.
That's it.
Yeah. And they look back and they wag their tail a little bit. They have no clue what just happened. And
tree's talking to me.
I'm back to hunting.
That's great. Yeah, no, I don't even think about it. I just sit there and act like,
Wait them out.
just wait it out. And for that set, this one's kind of just on ground level and they're in your face. And talk about confidence. I mean, you're sitting right with the deer in that particular blind, and they all just kind of walk through, so.
That's my favorite way to hunt archeries off the ground. It always has been. It's so much tougher, and it's the success rate's super low. But like last year when you came out and when you do get one, it's so much cooler to be on that ground level. And I wasn't in a blind last year either. That was just off the ground.
It was off the
Tucked
ground.
back into the briar patch, if I remember.
There was a little catfish hole.
It's not easy to hunt anything off the ground ever, but to hunt archery off the ground, like our forefathers did, just walking around with longbows, I read a book one time that said, there was Indian tribes that thought hunting turkeys with their old longbows was for kids because it was too easy. So they sent the kids out to bring turkeys home to hunt them with longbows. And today's modern technology and everything that we have, I don't know if we've taken it too far and just forgot to sit down and watch the bees and forget about hunting and let it happen. Let them come in that close and stop thinking so much. It's just a thought process I've been working on.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
And again, that takes confidence.
I guess it goes with my
Bring it full circle. Nice.
I just guess it goes with the let it happen if it's going to happen thing.
Yeah. So last night I get an opportunity to go to a coworker's farm, a little farmette.
Nice.
He's got just a great little, he's got some horses and some, farmette birds running
It's a
around.
farmette bird.
Like an emu?
Well, not like
Ostrich?
Maybe chickens and stuff.
Oh.
Noisy roosters.
So, he's got a little. His dad made it like a little.
An elevated shooting house.
Yes. Elevated platform with walls and a roof, correct.
It was beautiful. It's like a really cool thing, and
It was nicely done.
They did a really good job, I think.
Yeah.
I sat up in there, and like we said, it was a beautiful night, wonderful night. Weather was, light breeze, and deer were moving late. And I had 2 sets of 3, a mom and 2 fawns, 2 sets of them.
Right.
And then another doe came in shortly after those sets of deer. They're funneling in from the mountain into
into the ag.
Yeah, into the ag ether.
Nice.
This doe comes in, and she's the one. You know what I mean? I think she's the one. Wouldn't you know it? She comes in, takes a hard left, cuts straight across, broadside, 55 yards. And we've worked.
She's the one, all right.
We've worked that shot.
Are you calling
right?
her names?
We've worked that, but not enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, I ranged her. I had time. She's just out there.
Yeah.
And
were you back to shooting your compound bow?
I'm back on my compound bow. Yeah, my wrist is fine from the heart cath.
The procedure.
And I just, like I said, I've shot out to 50 yards several times. And
it's different when it's got fur, though.
But
it really is.
There's nothing in between me and her.
There's too many variables, even if there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Fastest bow in the market, it can jump the string.
So we're talking, my heart is just, I just had a heart cath. Now
how dare she?
It's sinking. Yeah. Oh. So that happened. They end up just filtering through. It's time to get down out of the stand, and a lot like catfish, I crawl down out, and probably 10, 15 yards away from the stand are two doe and a smaller buck. It's really dark. My buddy, the guy that owns it, said it's probably the 4-point. It's this little immature buck.
Right.
But they came in, as I was crawling down the ladder, and I get stuck on the ladder.
Oh man!
Don't you hate that?
I'm just like, and there's the wind is in my face. Everything's they just ignored me. But
right,
they got into the soybean, and I snuck out. But it wasn't like, I tried to get out. I wasn't being too careful.
I got trapped on a ladder stand like that one time. I actually had to text the landowner, have him come down in a tractor, because every time I thought, okay, here comes my chance, more deer would pile in. Like I was surrounded, and I didn't want to blow them out.
Right.
And they had no idea I was there, so I had the guy come down with his tractor, which they're used to that, but they move along. And I jumped in the bucket, and he drove me up to my truck. It's kind of nice.
That's too.
I'm like, you should do this all the time.
It used to make me sick when that happened. This year when I got down and saw them, I just had this big, stupid, crap-eating grin on my face and just went, touche.
Yeah.
You're right there. I waited for you to be there all night. I got down and look over, and there you are. You weren't there 2 minutes ago.
Well, this ladder
too. UFOs dropped them off.
This ladder too was like a 2x4s. So and it's summertime. Like I've gotten trapped on a ladder stand, where it's metal and it's winter, and you're freezing and and you gotta kind of maintain your balance and could be windy. This is like a perfect night on a ladder stand with a little bit of a platform. I was just hanging out with deer. It was too cool.
Yeah, it sounds like an epic night.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What else, guys? We're seeing deer.
It's gonna happen.
It sounds like everybody's had a great start.
And a lot of ladies.
A lot of ladies.
Yeah, that's true.
I was speaking to Dean, one of the guys over by where I hunt, and he doesn't hunt his property. He has other properties. He's got 100-some acres. He don't even hunt it. He hunts somewhere else. And he usually gives me like, oh yeah, Dean, so lighthearted and such a just amazing person to talk to.
Super cool.
Yeah, and he usually always tells me, yeah, I saw an 8-point, a couple weeks ago, and we had a 6-point running out back, and I spoke to Dean. He hasn't seen a buck all season, like all preseason. He hasn't seen a buck on the property, and it's not overhunted. Like it's not in rifle season last year. I think other than me, 2 other guys hunted it all year. So
right,
but it is surrounded by lots of other farms that could have been shot, or
Yeah, I'll bet you they're all still there. Everybody so far has seen some doe, and the couple of bucks have been seen have been young ones. So the big boys are all still there. I think when they show up, they're going to all show up all at once, and we're going to have to take turns tracking for each other.
Absolutely.
All in one weekend. That'd be sweet.
Do it.
We haven't had that really first cold snap yet. But I have a feeling when that happens.
I love this time of year, though. When I wear shorts to work and I put the windows up on the way to work, and the windows kind of not frosted, but it gets that
Fogged
weird
over.
fog on it. You can't get off no matter what you do. Put the windows down, put the heater on, put the air conditioner on. You just got to run the windshield wipers when it's not raining. I don't know what that is, but it won't go away.
I thought my truck was the only one. I'm glad it isn't.
Me too.
No, my truck does it too. I don't know what it is.
Fords don't do that.
That's a diesel exhaust coming out on the windshield. But anyhow, it was by lunchtime. I'm hanging blue rags in my window because the sun's coming in on me when I'm trying to take a nap. It's cool in the morning, really really warm midday, and then it cools off in the evening. It's my favorite time of year. The leaves are falling still though, and they're not even changing colors. Like they're
Isn't
falling
that
quick.
weird?
Yeah. And I think too, Ryan, that Dean's property, if you look at like the topographical part of Dean's farm, he has a really low-lying farm. Everything around him is slightly higher, except for Lake Mead. Obviously it's lower, but I just think some of these bucks are up out of all the wet.
I'm sure that's definitely what it is.
It was like walking on a wet mattress down through there the other night still, and it should have dried out a little. So I can imagine what it was like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. The place where I was hunting opening day and that afternoon is dry timber. There's a creek that runs through a power line behind the property. It was flooded. Like we could have put decoys out and honey ducks in there.
Really?
It was flooded timber. Darn near turned my ankle walking out.
Careful, bud.
Speaking of just like openers here in Pennsylvania, I've seen on Facebook some really big tanks already being taken. Though 4C had a monster 13 point with a drop tine taken out of 4C already. Just some really nice big bucks. So maybe that 3-on-1 side's really being, the gem and what do they call it, the diamond in the rough for us. That at first everybody was like, "Oh, I don't want that," and now people are like, "Ooh."
I think a lot of people are changing their mind about that.
It's an investment.
It just took time.
Well worth it.
Nobody likes change.
Was there a double drop tine like back in Altoona?
There was, yep. That was back towards Blair County. Yep.
That was stupid.
Yeah. And it had a kicker on the one side too, sticking kind of out the side. A sticker. Yeah.
Outstanding.
Kicker, sticker. People call them different things. They had I did see something weird. I don't want to go back to fishing, but I do want to tell this story real quick. So I was out Sunday morning fishing, and Lacey went with me. She got up early, went fishing with me.
That's right.
We turned around. Lacey said, "Turn around, look." There was like a double-winged biplane that came down, and I could have swore it was going to crash in the lake. Like I thought he was putting it in the lake because he had no choice.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't hear it running. He was like dead sticking it. And I'm telling you, he wasn't but 10 feet off the water when he pulled up.
Really?
And everybody was pointing and staring from the bank and bass boats. This is midday. If there had been a pontoon boat out there with its canopy up, he'd have hit it.
Whoa.
He was just having fun. Like he was, dead sticking coming down, and all of a sudden you heard that motor pop on and boom, straight up and out across, up to the north. He went up towards your house, and I just went, that guy's insane. It was a little too close for comfort.
Huh.
But it was
Did anybody
cool to
report it? Because that can't be okay for him to do. And there's only one airport in the area. Yeah, well, it was. They got to have logs of guys flying in and out. It was a double-winged blue plane, not like the Red Baron 3, but the two.
You catch his license plate number.
Yeah, he was pretty close, but not that close.
Niner.
Anyhow, just tidbit that I thought
that's crazy.
It was cool to watch. I wish I could have caught it on video. If he comes back, I'm going to try to catch it on video. Because, now that when you get away with something once, you got to do it again.
It's true. True.
Yeah. I think he was trying to scare the person in the back seat.
If I was in there, it would have worked.
Yeah.
Speaking of scared.
Code Brown.
Yeah. Speaking of scared, I think we have a couple super fans out there that are scared.
Based on what I saw tonight, they should be.
I'm gonna call a couple of them out, and this is brotherly love.
Sure.
But I heard a little bit of brotherly smack talk this week on some of the posts, and maybe I posted to poke the bear a little bit, just because some of the smack talk a few weeks ago about an archery tournament, trying to get teams together, and some of this started with the Andrew Spittle and type of talk. But
Your guys is.
I had some personal texts to me.
Did you?
From a couple of the super fans asking what do I know about so and so, and do you think I could take them in an archery competition?
Stevie.
Yeah, they were all talking about Stevie. My answer was no. He's way
They're
too
worried
good.
about him.
I'll give them a run for their money.
So, I have a weirdly busy schedule, like till the end of October. I have to work a couple extra weekends actually.
But when's your schedule not weirdly busy?
I don't know. I haven't.
That's true.
I got some sleep a few days ago.
There's 4 days in March where it's pretty steady.
It's Thursday. There you go, Andrew Spittle. I slept Tuesday, that past Tuesday. So there's answers your question from before. I was one of the only people, if not the only R2 guy, that did not go to 717 Armory, and I reached out to them if I could come see their archery range like a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I stopped there tonight and got to meet Nubs.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
And first of all, big shout out to Nubs.
Nubby.
Nubby, yeah. Is that what they
Nubby's
call him?
cubby.
Nubby.
Nubby.
Total tour. Showed me the total tour. Took me all around. Told me the history and everything about it. Treated me like a superstar.
They're good dudes.
Yeah. They
And
are.
so we actually just sat down and I told him, I said, I have this idea. Our super fans, smack talking about bows and shooting archery, and they want to shoot a competition. And lately, with some of the things that came to light, I don't feel maybe 100% the archer I used to be. Me and Will had this heart-to-heart the other night.
Yeah.
And I think not only do I have to put myself in check with the time that I'm putting into practicing, which is less than it has been. So I got to regroup on that and put myself in check.
2 years ago, this isn't a conversation.
No, it wasn't. But I think I need to put some of my super fans in check, and I'm going to do it out of brotherly love. So
I'm going to smack you around.
this is my
Because I love
challenge. This is my challenge to you guys.
This hurts him more than it hurts you.
There was an opening
But we need it.
that they call him Nubs.
Nubby.
Sorry, Nubby. There was an opening, Nubby, we discussed. He said, so Sundays, apparently 717 sets up for archery.
Yeah.
October 14th, which is a couple weeks from now, I believe, Sunday afternoon, 717 Armory is going to totally set up an R2 exclusive shootout for us.
Shut up.
Yep. It's going to be
Really?
amazing.
Is that in the cozy yet?
I just found out. I just did it before I came here. So
That's too cool.
the fun part about this was I was so excited, I started texting. I don't want to drop names, Sean Kennedy.
He's really been laying the smack talk on though.
That dude,
He's not as bad as some of them. I'll show you some of the real ones.
But Sean's like the first. You know what I mean? He's the Deke of trash talk.
He is.
Like he's the first to do it, and then
Absolutely.
everybody piles on.
And then I got Adam Woods also there, that wins every bow in the world.
Well, he's
I'm
got
not-
reason to smack talk people though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked on his bow.
That's true. But I got people that said, telling me on there just because he won a bow don't mean he knows how to shoot it. Like there's some good smack talk going on.
Nice.
So we're just gonna go and have a fun brotherly shootout that doesn't mean anything.
He's the first on the board though for deer.
Yeah.
For
He
the
is.
for the super fans won, right? Is it
I think
Chris,
he's
anybody
the
else?
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First on the board. Yep.
super fans won? Yeah. Rotten
R2
River,
crew, none.
0.
Good for us.
I threw a few texts
Jeez.
out to some of our super fans, and 2 of them are already said they're free that night. So I got to work on a couple other
That's
ones.
cool. What date was that?
I think they only do it on a Sunday, so it's October 14th, I believe, is the date that he said that they were free. And
Okay.
717 Armory has been really cool to you guys. And I've only been there once, and they were 10 times cooler than I just walked in the door and I said hi, and they're like, "Are you Catfish?" I'm like, "Yeah." How do you know? The giant sign on my shirt? Or
the name tag.
Yeah, he's like, "No."
We actually hung your picture up around, and we said, "You really got to be nice to this kid if he ever shows up."
Oh, thank you.
That's what it
well,
was.
they were
He's special.
They took
Special.
So thank you guys. Not only are they going to let us shoot there and do our little tournament, but they've actually said that they were going to shut it down to the public so we can have it private.
What?
Sunday night.
Oh boy!
So
look out!
I mean, do we have a guest list or who's?
I'm working on it. That's
it's to be determined.
Well, those 3 smack talkers are first,
right?
And I got some other, I got some other ones on my list. I think I want to invite, like.
If they're not there, though,
it's Catfish. You know, he's got like 8 celebrities up his sleeve.
David Chickley, he shoots archery.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him up and tell him, hey, you want to be on an archery team for the night?
Down.
Not mine, but you want to be on an archery team for the night? I already picked. I'm sorry, I already picked my.
What's the
team.
logistics on this? What kind of teams are we talking?
What's the?
Well, I don't know that yet. I'm going to work all that out this week.
How do you practice for
Do
it?
we draft?
It's going to be an archery. It's just going to be an archery shoot at targets.
Yeah,
I'll set up something fun. It'll be fun.
different yardages.
No, I saw the range. It's that range is out to what, 30 yards?
50.
The rifle?
No, the archery range with the big stop targets.
50.
Oh, that's a 20-yard range. You can get 30 if you stand out where they work on bows.
I don't know.
But where they set up their thing on Sundays is 50-yard range.
That's fine. Let me work on it. I'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I just
If
wanted
that's
to
what
get.
they were talking about, then that's where they're going to do it. Probably is in the
50-yard.
50-yard range.
Well, I have that Sunday,
50.
and like 6 Sundays from then, I have another Sunday,
Ooh.
and it's just archery season's almost over, and I think the smack talk will go away by then. So I want to get it while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
So real quick, as a side note to the R2 shootout, that is going to be our first annual R2 shootout, because I'm sure as the Brotherhood grows in season 3, there'll be more smack talkers come.
Oh, I like it.
Trash Panda has absolutely agreed to fix anybody's bow before October 14th. You got to get it in quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I just give you a ton of work that you don't want?
Nope.
You have to skip soccer.
So that's the thing. I was kind of.
3 days.
That's what I'm asking.
We can do
Like,
it.
so 717's shutting down, but is this an invitational or is this like
Open house.
open house?
No, I don't know yet. You mean for our listeners?
Yeah.
You'll be invited if I want you to go.
It's an invitational.
Or please text me if you're interested.
If you'd like an invite.
If you'd like to come to the R2 shootout, the only reason I'm saying is there is some limited space. I can't have like 40 shooters there.
Sure.
I told the guy that we'd have 10 maybe, something like that. So
Right.
I'm
First
not
come, first serve.
I'm not opposed to anybody that wants to come that's listening to this. Please get a hold of me and we'll make it happen if you really want to come out.
How do people get a hold of you? Text you on Instagram.
RuttenRiverPursuits.com.
Good
There we go.
No, yeah, you can just direct message me at Darkwater737 on
Gotcha.
Instagram.
Go.
There we go.
I don't know. I'm excited
You
because
can also schedule your bow appointment through that same Instagram account.
Through that one,
Yeah, through that one.
pass through archery would be a good one to check.
You could send a message. by
there's
way.
just something small, old school in me with archery that I don't know why those little comments were like not hitting a nerve in a bad way,
Yeah.
but just hitting my nerve of going, can I still do that?
Right.
Like,
Not with a straight elbow.
I can't.
Wait, watch yourself. You're gonna.
I can't.
That straight elbow.
That's another
I think
gauntlet.
that
thrown
might be
down.
where it all started, isn't it?
I can't smack talk back right now with some of the groups that I've been shooting at 30 yards. And it's not like I've been out practicing or whatever, pre-planned any of this, but it will be the first R2 shootout. It'll be good.
You heard it here first.
If nothing else, it'll give us a chance for everybody to get together in archery season and tell some stories.
Season opener of the current.
That's so cool. 717 stepping up like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Think about it.
And I asked him if we could, sit back there and podcast or whatever. He's like, do whatever you want. They're super cool.
We were just, joking that we should do it. I didn't even think about a venue. Well, you're in the driver's seat, of course, but I didn't. Normally I would be.
Catfish read your mind.
I would have forgotten all about it had they not kept saying crap about it. So I'm not saying Andrew Spittle. I'm not saying Adam Woods and Sean Kennedy. And there's 2 others that I can mention names, but they aren't publicly known by the other 3. That you 3 don't smack talk each other a lot behind your backs. But
right.
Maybe this will settle some scores.
Did Pike Karowski say anything?
It's one of the 2 that are unknown that I didn't want to mention.
It's Pike Karowski.
Pikarowski. Brian.
I have to get a hold of him and see if he's in. That's a long drive for him.
Is it time to get to shaking?
Yeah, we should get it shaking.
Hey, while it's shaking, Ryan.
Yeah, bud.
Tell me, how can I better my hunt?
Well, first thing you should do is jump on a computer or a laptop or a
cellular
tablet
device.
Or any other cellular device. Go over to betterthehunt.com.
Go to betterthehunt.com.
Check out all the cool stuff they got going on over there. And while you're placing your order for your bow mitt,
what am I going to do?
You're going to want to use the promo code RUTRIVER15 to get 15% off of that bow mitt.
Get out of the woods,
Get
man.
into the woods with the bow mitt on to keep your hand warm. That's what I say.
Nice.
That's right.
Nicely done.
Holy cow. Feeling better already.
It's like you're a professional podcaster.
I know it.
I hear it.
Oh, it's a shaking.
Oh, it's a shaking.
It's a shaking.
What's our Better the Hunt topic hat?
What's the poll for tonight?
You'll never believe this.
If it's another journal question, bud.
No.
Take it out.
You're never going to believe this.
How to write a novel.
This is probably going to be a quick one, and it should be. But
what'd we pull this time?
Here, let me pull
Here,
one.
Catfish. You do it.
Nice. Started out. Kick off season 3.
What is this? It's tracking your deer, going the extra mile.
Whoa, tracking tactics.
Oh, my goodness.
Stevie's all jacked up.
So
what do you do, Steve?
You use a red light.
Put it in retrospect, Stevie. You've accidentally hooked a bass once or twice before,
Button
where it was
hooked.
bleeding out its gill plate, and you felt bad and tried to follow it back to its bed. How do you follow that bass back to its bed? Tell me all about the blood trail.
The blood trail.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it is.
That's tough tracking right there.
It is.
So, as
bless
the
your heart.
representative of the colorblind community at the table, I have to tell you
That
guys,
never gets old. I'm sorry.
I don't track deer.
tracking deer sucks when you're colorblind.
Yeah, I bet.
It really does.
So, wait, can we take a step back?
Sure, bud.
Which direction?
What
Well, he said back.
reverse?
Back to the
What
last blood.
colors can't you see?
I believe the diagnosis that I've gotten through doing those crazy dot.
The online
color.
Wait a
test.
minute. What
It's
kind
like
of question is that? He's colorblind. You're asking what colors he can't see. How is he supposed to tell you if
there's
you
a-
don't know
You
what
don't
colors
see
are?
him.
It's a red-green colorblind, I think, is the actual
So at
diagnosis.
Christmas time, everything
Here's-
just looks black and white. to
Yeah,
you.
Bless
that's
your
it.
heart.
That's all I
color
get.
is
It's
it?
just a Christmas story, and that's it.
I'm
What color is this
sorry.
little light?
It looks red to me. Was I right?
No.
So he don't even know
So-
what colors are. You
Yeah.
can't ask him that.
Here's the thing. You hold up a piece of paper that's blue.
yeah.
I'll tell you it's blue.
Okay.
You hold up a piece of paper that's purple. Most of the time, I'll tell you it's purple. When you put them together, I have trouble seeing where one stops and the other starts. It's shades. So I'm not colorblind. I'm shade blind. How's that?
That
Blinds?
Yeah. Shade blind.
Venetian blind.
I'm Venetian.
Shades and
I'm
blinds are the
Venetian
same thing,
blinds.
but they're synonyms.
This dude is Venetian blind.
So
So are things
Here's the
confusing
thing.
to you? Like what does like you brought up Christmas tree? All them colors on a Christmas tree. What's that look like to you?
just bright colors.
It's just a weird tree with balls on it that are all grays and
They twinkle. The
I
twinkly
bet.
balls.
I
the
hear
twinkly
that.
tree.
Here's the
Why are
thing.
you calling me a tree, bud?
There are maple leaves
Yeah.
in the woods.
Yeah.
And in the fall, they hit the ground. They're usually bright yellow. And they have little, I'm told, brown spots.
Correct.
every one of those looks like glistening red lung blood to me.
So when you're tracking,
Yeah.
everything looks like blood.
I can't do it with the glove on, even if it's the dead of winter. Although usually when it's the dead of winter,
What
there's
does a
some.
glove have to do with seeing blood?
I'll show you,
Okay.
or I'll explain it.
Okay.
But even if it's the dead of
Do
winter,
tell.
I got to take the glove off. Although usually in the dead of winter, there's a little bit of snow and it's kind of easier to track them.
So you
But
just smear it on your finger.
I have to check it with my finger. Look at that, a million spots of blood on this yellow leaf. Oh, nothing came off, so apparently that's brown.
So you're
Throw it
telling
to the
me
side.
that when you track deer, you're crawling around on your hands and knees, literally fingering every leaf in the woods.
Everyone that'll stand still long enough to.
Tactile, tactical tracking. Triple T's.
But yeah, I mean, it's difficult. So where I was going with this
I must be one step below Ryan on tracking ability there.
It's literally braille.
yeah,
I was thinking that.
but there are companies who I think in some cases have taken advantage of people like me, and they've offered devices that should help you find blood better.
Like a black light or something.
There's a blood trailing
There's blood
light.
trailing lights and stuff, and
Okay.
I've tried a couple of them, and
No luck.
it's nice if the ground's dry and there's a blood trail, and you hit it with one of those blood lights, it shines bright like a diamond.
Really?
Yeah.
But
as soon as the ground's wet,
of it.
as soon as the
most
ground's
nights
wet,
in the fall.
Yeah.
then everything
goes
shines.
dew.
Yeah.
Everything shines the same way. So really what I'm seeing is the reflection off of moisture versus the dry ground with those lights.
Didn't
I'm
they
not
sell a
getting
spray at some point supposed to make it glow?
the blood light, blood hunter, blood
I
hound,
never used it.
something like
CSI
that.
It worked.
kit.
It's supposed to.
Luminol.
You're supposed to spray it, and as soon as it hits blood, it's kind of like if you
Luminol.
when you pour. I
Luminol.
wish my nurse friends would help me
Yeah.
over here.
It's like
Peroxide. When you pour peroxide on a wound,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff's supposed to do that. When it hits the dried up blood on a leaf, it's
Well, that
fizzes
could
and
help you
bubbles.
see it, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
That's
I have-
how would you know?
Point
where to
is, I
start
haven't had any
spraying?
luck.
Oh, you
It's
just
just very,
blanket.
very difficult.
You just carpet bomb the woods with luminol until you see bubbles.
Well, let's take a big step back.
We should.
Let's take a big
direction?
step back and let's go on tactics that
Like
we use
real
on
ones.
tracking.
For people that can see.
Yeah.
Whether you can or can't see, whether you're archery hunting with the bow, compound bow, long bow, rifle hunting, anything. You shoot a deer, first thing you do, where was that deer at when you shot? You got to mark that spot. You follow the deer as it runs, visually
This
following
is
it.
from the tree stand, not
Yeah.
when you're down.
Right.
You're watching the deer leave. So just to
Follow it
clarify.
with your eyes.
as far as you can.
Yep. And mark in your mind the last place you were able to see it.
And don't just
Okay.
like pick a spot, a tree root, something you can see.
Yes.
It went between those two white trees, whatever. Yes.
But you have to have those spots are very, very, very important.
And then I take that one step further. I sit for about 20 minutes and listen intensely, because sometimes a deer will double back and you can hear it crash or ball moan or whatever. And it can give you a dead giveaway because you're staring at where you saw it go. But, at 12 o'clock and at 3 o'clock, you hear it crash. And that if the blood trail would happen to get light, you can always go off that, like, okay, I heard it crash over there. So
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, but the first part of tracking starts
in the tree
the
stand.
instant you pull a trigger.
And so don't just start packing up right away and get down, right? You wait. I would say the second thing is wait, especially in archery season. Don't rush a track. Give the deer time to go lay down.
And I'm going to, piggyback on that.
Yeah.
There's something to tracking is giving yourself the grace, being very patient with your thoughts, and because you can really, by going too quickly or just, trying to get to from A to B, you'll blow the whole thing.
You miss something.
And so going slow and and being patient with yourself, being patient with your thoughts and your collect all the data and move very slow and very deliberate.
And just like Will said, learn to enjoy tracking as much as you do hunting. Like everybody wants to rush to get to the deer, I get it, but to build those skills, learn to just, like you said, slow down and enjoy what you're doing. Don't just rush to the next blood spot. Enjoy what you're doing. You're being out, and it's part of the hunt. The hunt's not over till you get to the deer. So just
right.
Because if you got 2 or 3 guys out with lights looking, and you're on last blood, once you find the blood trail and you start tracking a deer, whether you're marking it with a roll of toilet paper, a little square here, you're leaving a guy with last blood. Never leave the last blood spot ever. Always have some mark on the last blood. And as guys move forward, move slowly. Don't just start walking all over the place looking, especially if it's damp or wet out. Mm-hmm. Because one drop can get you from A to B 40 yards. And if you step on it, you lost, CSI, you just destroyed the crime scene.
Well, you had mentioned toilet paper.
Yes.
And you mentioned never leaving the last blood. If you use a tactic like toilet paper, or they have those orange ribbons and stuff, and you'll see guys tie them in the tree above the spot.
Right.
There's different ways you can do that, but sometimes what happens is as soon as you lose blood, carefully stepping off that trail, you come back, backtrack yourself, and look at the line.
Yeah.
Especially a mortally wounded animal is going to travel in as straight a line as it can.
Yeah, it won't make many turns unless there's an obstacle in its way.
Right.
Yeah,
or if it's going for water or for super thick cover, it will make turns, but they're usually hard, sharp angles and then another straight line.
Yeah.
So if you can backtrack, if you've got your trail marked, sometimes you'll be able to pick up the direction that he went based on the direction that he came from.
Totally agree. Mm-hmm. And the only reason that I don't dislike the red ribbons and the orange ribbons is just I find that sometimes guys don't go back and get them, so that when I'm hunting, I always think, oh, this is a trail to somebody's tree stand. Like there's a guy hunting in here, and I'll move off.
Oh yeah,
I think it's markings for something else. I don't always associate that with somebody was tracking a deer.
Yeah, but that's where the toilet paper would.
Yeah, it just goes away.
Toilet paper? What do you do?
You just put a piece on the ground at the last blood, so that when you shine the light in the dark, you see that white spot, and okay, last blood was over there.
On the field or in the grass or
the breadcrumbs.
limb.
And you can line them up, and like they were saying, Steve, you can line them toilet paper pieces up and get a line of more of a directional.
How about
finding.
How about a couple things you can do when you're stumped? You've followed the blood trail as far as you can. Everybody has agreed after half an hour of looking, there's no more blood. There's a couple things that you can do. Ryan just told you one of them. By finding the straight line and continuing on where the deer might have went. A thing a lot of wounded deer will do, especially if it's pressured, will backtrack on its own footsteps. It changed its mind. It don't want to go that way. It will now turn around and go back the way it came and make one of them hard 90-degree turns. So go back on your blood trail 50 yards and start looking off to the sides of the blood trail, even though it continued, because it can backtrack on itself.
Sure. So one of the things that I kind of picked up on is if you're doing it at night, there's a big difference between doing it in the day and trailing at night. If you have, if you're by yourself, you don't have a problem. But if your buddies turn up, you're gonna wait a little bit, to kind of get after this deer, and you wait for your buddies to show up. If everybody doesn't have the same light, the same intensity of light, you can really get messed up on spots and little, blood patches or whatever, by having two different kind of lights or styles of lights. Mm-hmm. And you could be looking in the same area and having your eyes don't focus. So, one of my lights was a little bit dimmer, and last time we tracked, I was like, Bucky, you got to move away from me, because he's got this big bright light, and I can't see. I'm losing my mind, my thoughts.
And they're finding blood faster than you, and you're losing confidence. Yep.
Yeah.
I've totally ran into that same situation before too.
And the shadows at night just mess with you. I think it's just another.
We have multiple lights, especially if
obstacle.
One's brighter than the other. The brighter light's going to cast a shadow onto yours. So even though your light's dimmer, it's getting extra dimmed because the brighter light's throwing a shadow. Like, I definitely see where you're going with that. At first, I was like, "What do you mean?" But now a lot of that makes sense.
Yeah.
It actually will. It'll actually make your eyes tired.
It's disorienting.
Yeah. So so that's a great point, Will. So before you even head out, you're with your buddies. Make sure you're prepared. Take something to leave for a trail, like toilet paper, whatever you decide. Make sure everybody's batteries are good, because not only do you have to find a deer, but you have to get back.
Yeah.
Don't track without your dragging rope. Don't go, oh, we found a deer, let me get back to the truck, get the dragging rope. It's twice as much work.
And, I mean, if you can throw a couple extra batteries in your pack or your
And the number one thing I would tell people to do when they're tracking deer that people forget to do is take a bottle of water with you. Because once you find a deer that may have run a long way, dragging it back, you may not be thirsty just looking for blood, but dragging the deer back, not knowing where it went,
Lord knows, yeah.
you will want that bottle of water that's in your truck really badly.
Yeah. I love tracking. I'll travel to track. There's some guys that get hot. You kind of just let the dude who's hot, he's dialed in, his eyes are seeing the blood.
Yeah.
What do you do? Let him do it, right?
I agree.
Yep.
Even if you think that you have superior tracking skills, even last year when we shot that deer, me and Will could have tracked it very easily. Letting Lacey do it to let her learn. Once again, it's not a race. If there's somebody there that's learning, let them be patient. If there's somebody there that is picking it out quicker than you, maybe their light's better, maybe they're whatever, they got younger eyes. I mean, don't let pride take a hold of you. Step back and go, bird dog, go.
It's situational too. Like if you think that the deer, it was a mortal wound, and you think you're going to walk into a dead deer situation, but like if it's you jump one.
I love how you do it though, because you're thoughtful when you track. And let me explain this.
Yeah.
Not many guys are like this. So let's say hypothetically you shoot a deer. No, let's just do it the way I did it. Let's do it last year when you came and helped me track my deer.
Sure.
So we're walking along and we're blood trailing. If I'm out front because I was hot and you're allowing me to blood trail, and I'm following the blood trail, and it's great, it's my deer, I'm going to go find it. If you want to let the guy do that, that's great, because that instant when you see your deer, there's a euphoric feeling. I found her. I found it. So if you're the one tracking somebody else's deer and you're tracking it, have a poker face on. When you get up to the deer and you see the deer, don't yell and scream and go, there's your deer. Stop what you're doing and go, dude, take over, man. My eyes are blurry for a second. Whatever you got to do, make up an excuse, go, right here's last blood, man. Can you take over for a minute?
Yeah.
Let the guy who shot the deer, the woman who shot the deer, find their own deer. Just because you see it, don't mean you have to give it all away.
Right.
Because that feeling of finding your deer, you already found it. Inside, you already know you found it. So just let them do it. You did that with Lacey.
Yeah.
You did it with Buck.
Buck won't admit it.
So
we found it.
The look on Lacey's face when she found that deer was, after me and Will had already seen it, was priceless, because, she found it. And we were standing there for like 5 minutes going, it's like, it was like 5 yards. And,
she was closer than Buck when she realized what it was.
And tell him, too, don't always stare at the ground.
That was what I
as you're going along, stop and look. Use your glasses in the daytime. Use your light. Pan the fields. Pan the woods. Just like your white toilet paper, it's very possible you can get a flash of white. Take 2 steps. Flash your light. You can't see it. Trees in the way.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to step up, stretch your back, look around, take a second, take it all in, listen, because she could get up and run. That would give you another directional thing. Just all little hints on tracking that can help you find a deer that may be a tough track. So
yeah,
there's
he or she.
There's countless videos and websites and articles that you can read and learn more about, like how to tracking, how you can look at a blood splatter and tell the direction that the deer was traveling. There's a lot of things you can do, and there's a lot of things that you can use to up your game.
Sure.
Best experience I ever have had, and hopefully will continue to have, but the best practice is rifle season, because when you shoot a deer, many times you see it go down, and 9 times out of 10, guys are going to run right up to that deer that's down, start the celebration, start taking pictures, get the thing gutted, fill out your tag. No. The things that we talked about, as soon as you squeeze the trigger, you're marking those things. You see where the deer was at when you shot. You follow it with your eyes. You see the last place you see that deer go. Mark those things. That's your practice. It's a real scenario that there's a deer that's down now. You know exactly where that deer is. Do you remember where it was standing when you shot? Find it. Find the hair. Find blood. There's no better experience than actually doing it. You can read all about it and watch all the videos you want. But until you're actually on the ground looking for hair, it's a different world.
No,
use rifle season as an opportunity to teach yourself.
I love that hint. Absolutely. So just pretend that you didn't see the deer go down and do it like you shot it in archery.
Now there's no pressure. All you can do is learn.
Yes. No, I love
you know that. You hit that deer. You know it went down. So where's the hair? What does it actually take to find hair?
You'd be
I was
amazed.
50 yards away. I know it was standing next to that tree. When you get out there and you're looking for hair, you're like, I have no idea where this deer was standing. And it turns out it wasn't in front of that tree that I swore he was in front of. He was 20 yards behind that tree.
But how many times are you in an elevated stand and you can see everything, but then you get on the ground and there's laurel.
It's different. It's a different world.
It's a way different world.
What Ryan just said
Good
totally happened to me a few years ago. I shot a doe in rifle season. She took off. I did not see where she went. So now I have to archery track her.
Yep.
And when I got down, I knew exactly where I shot her. Exactly. Got down with the climber, walked over there. I could not find it anywhere. Like, what'd I do, miss? What happened? She ran off. I was second guessing myself. I actually had to get back in the climber and climb back up. And the little white piece of the tree I was looking at was not the one that I saw from the tree. I walked out and went, oh, there's white on this tree. I didn't take the second for the detail of what I was looking at in the climber because she ran off. And I got down, and it was exactly what you said. It was 20 yards past where I thought I shot her. Walked over, bone hair. It was, there. And
Here we go.
She didn't go but 30 yards over the hill, but I too much, almost over self-confidence. I know right where I shot her. I'm down. Let's go.
Yep.
Slow down.
Slow down.
It's good practice.
Boys, I think we did this justice. I know we can talk and tracking is like, we should do a whole thing on it, but I think we did the topic justice.
We sure did.
Season 3, boys.
Love it.
Welcome back.
Hey, Stevie.
Yes, sir.
Where can they find us?
Oh, they can find us at RuttenRiverPursuits.com on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. Check out our YouTube page. Also, Rutten River Pursuits Podcast.
How about that?
What am I missing?
What if you get hungry when you're fishing in the fall?
Oh, my goodness. MFJerky.com.
You gotta
Check out that
go to
Moses Family
mfjerky.com.
Jerky, guys. And use coupon code JerkyPursuits15. It's getting mighty chilly in the mornings.
You need your coffee.
Kinda. Well, not yet. But it's going to get mighty chilly.
I always
in the
need
morning.
coffee.
I have to keep my hand warm.
All right, guys. Later.
See it.
Peace. Rick and Weedless.
Track me home.
So, Buck, when we're not looking at blood spots that look green,
Brown
brown
and red.
Sorry.
When we're not smack talking.
Those aren't brown spots in my underwear. Those are green.
I don't know if that's any better, bud.
When we're not smack talking other archers.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Where do they find us? And
I have trouble seeing where one stops and the other starts. It's shades. So I'm not colorblind. I'm shade blind. How's that?
the blinds?
Yeah. Shade blinds.
Venetian blind?
I'm Venetian.
Shades and
I'm
blinds are the
Venetian
same thing,
blind.
but they're synonyms.
This dude is Venetian blind.
So
are things
Here's the
confusing to you? Like, what does
Yeah.
So, real quick, that is a side note to the R2 shootout. That is going to be our first annual R2 shootout, because I'm sure as the Brotherhood grows in Season 3, there'll be more smack talkers come.
Oh, I like it.
Trash Panda has absolutely agreed to fix anybody's bow before October 14th. You got to get it in quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I just give you a ton of work that you don't want?
Nope.
You have to skip soccer.
beardless.